Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated, where I'm pretty excited today. I get to talk with actor, writer, producer Kyle Matthew. So, Kyle, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is really exciting. So, I didn't know that I was a fan of yours, but I've actually been a fan of yours for a while. The lip sync breakup, hilarious.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hilarious. And I knew it like once I went back, I was like, oh my gosh, that is him. Oh, that's such a terrific idea. You need to do more of those.
It's definitely not off the table, you know.
Yeah, we
More
need some
journey to claim
sequels to
on.
that.
Hey,
What
never say never.
where did that idea come from?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to be in a sketch comedy troupe at USC called the Suspenders, which was
Yeah.
a comedic sketch comedy group where we wrote and performed our own sketches. And actually, that was a sketch that I had written and performed live at one of our shows. So I actually had the opportunity to test run it. And
Yeah.
so when it got received well, that kind of gave me the confidence to end up filming it. And then some of the other sketches I wrote that didn't get as many laughs, I decided,
Right.
maybe best not to film those.
Yeah, yeah, this one is hilarious. So for those who haven't seen it, how would you describe it?
It's about this guy named Dylan who gets broken up by his girlfriend Jennifer, and Dylan can only communicate via lip syncing snippets of popular songs. That would be the exact way to describe it.
See, I would watch a whole show with Dylan. I think that is just such a hilarious concept.
We shall see.
How long how long did it take you to come up with the songs that you were going to use for that short?
So I'm actually very well versed in the skill of wanting to sing but can't sing. I'm in
Same.
the process of hopefully getting better, but as a result, I love music and I listen to music all the time. So there
Yeah.
are a lot of really random, obscure songs that I know an obnoxious amount of words to. So as a result, the story kind of came from a lot of those songs because most songs are about relationships. So it was pretty
Right.
easy to plug and play most of those songs.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was terrific, and it was. I liked it that you kind of jumped around different genres of songs. You know, you didn't just use one thing. It was all over the place. It was just really, really funny. And so when I was prepping for my, for the interview, and I went and looked, I was like, I know this one. I've seen this one. That was the best. Love that. So did you miss all the weather in Texas, or were you home during that time?
I was lucky enough when I was shooting for Bunk'd. I was actually, which I'm sure we'll talk about at some point, I was in LA, so I just missed the weather. But fortunately, my family didn't lose any power. They had a
Oh,
little
great.
hot water at a certain point, but of course, there were a lot of other people who weren't as lucky. So it was definitely a very scary time for all Texans, and I'm happy that hopefully things are on the up and up
Yeah, yeah, that was such a weird occurrence. You guys aren't used to that type of weather.
now.
Yeah, yeah, we had that same storm came through West Virginia, and the majority of us lost power at least temporarily, but nothing on the scale of what you guys had to deal with. That's we felt for you because we don't get too many ice storms, but we get some type of storm a couple times a year that knocks a lot of the power out. But
Yeah.
it's rough. You don't realize how much you rely on it till it's gone.
It's scary. I try not to think about how much I rely on it because it makes me feel so out
Yeah.
of not in control.
Right. Right. It's not a great feeling. So let's I should have started here, but I jumped around a little bit. But let's
Don't
start here.
worry.
Let's go back to the beginning. Um, what made you want to get into the entertainment business, and how did you do that?
So growing up, I actually thought I was going to be a professional basketball player.
Oh, nice.
I was a huge NBA fan, but I had a plan to get into the NBA. And I was a huge Lakers fan, which obviously
Me too.
was an interesting experience growing up in Dallas, being a huge Lakers fan. But there was a reason. One of my current best friends, he had started at my school, around first or second grade, and he was a few years earlier, and he was originally from LA, and I wanted him to like me. So I became a Lakers fan that way, and it just so I was a huge Lakers fan my entire childhood. I wore sweatbands to school every day. I was that kid. My bar mitzvah theme was centered around basketball. I really thought, it's going to happen. And around 8th grade, I was lucky enough to win Best Actor at Shakespeare Day at my school. And it was around that time that I also realized that the chances of me being overseas was come to none. So it was that was the moment, I say, when I officially caught the acting bug.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you play organized ball up until that point?
Definitely. And I still play recreationally. I love it. I love it.
So who was your player back then?
I was a huge Shaq fan. Shaq fan. I still think, because of it, I think Shazam is one of the greatest movies of all time. And I'm never sure if it's Shazam or Kazam, but it's something Azam. That I know for sure.
Well, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody say that.
Okay, great. I just wanted to be on the record that I love the movie, but I'm not sure if what the preface is. But
it's Kazam, I think, isn't it?
Kazam. I think it might be Kazam. But either way, I was lucky enough to meet Shaq at one point when I was younger, and of course, being such a huge fan, the only thing that I could get out of my mouth were facts about him. So I started telling him where he was born, where he went to school, all this stuff.
Just in case he forgot.
Yeah. So Shaq, if you're listening, which I'm sure you are, that was me. I was that kid that was telling you all about your own life to you. And I appreciate you being so kind when that weird kid was doing that to you.
I totally get it though. So my guy, I'm a little older. So my guy was Magic Johnson.
Of course.
So I never got a chance to meet him so far, but I would be the same way. Even to this day, I'm sure I would do exactly the same thing.
I love it.
Well, how did he respond when you were telling him where he was born?
I think, considering the circumstances, for any person to have a random person come up to them and give them biographical, I went right in with the facts. I didn't even say, "Hi, Mr. O'Neill, it's so great to meet you." I said, "You were born on March 6th," and I just started there, and it was, it was, then I don't remember the rest. I think I might have, forgotten where I was.
Yeah, I get it. So Shaq just had a birthday, I guess.
Yes. Happy belated, Shaq.
That's right. Happy birthday, Shaq. I'm sure he's listening. I'm sure.
He definitely is.
I'm sure he is. So are you fans of other sports as well?
Yeah. I like to say that I am from Dallas. So I do like to say that my hometown teams are the Mavs and the Cowboys, but my passion teams are the Chargers and the Lakers. So fortunately, the teams are never really good at the same time, so I never really have any issues. And often, the only times when they're the same is when they're both bad. So yeah.
So for here, the majority are Pittsburgh fans, Steeler fans. We've got some Browns, some Bengals, and then you'll have that small pocket of Dallas fans that the rest of the state doesn't like.
Yep.
Because they're such rivals. Pittsburgh and Dallas, such rivals. So that's usually the case. But now I will admit, I always liked Tom Landry. So I've never had any animosity with the Cowboys. Although I lied already.
Michael,
Jimmy Johnson. Let me tell you about Jimmy Johnson. Quick story. So Jimmy Johnson was the coach at Miami. And at that time, West Virginia University had a really strong team, undefeated team. They were ranked 3rd in the country. Miami was ranked 2nd. West Virginia was playing the number one team in the bowl game, and Jimmy Johnson came out with this big statement, as he should, about how even if West Virginia won that game, Miami should be the national champion. Well, West Virginia didn't win the game, but as a fan, I was offended. So from that point on, I was like, nope, you're out, Jimmy. So then he became the Cowboys coach, and I couldn't follow him.
There's some serious blood. Sports are no joke. Sports are no joke.
They're no joke, but fans are ridiculous. I mean, we get offended at the dumbest things.
Oh yeah, I play fantasy football, and it's arguably the worst thing that has ever happened to me that I will never stop doing, because first off, the quality of my week is determined by how well my team does. You realize how unkind it is to put the power of your happiness into a group of grown men who have no idea who you are.
Right.
No reason to perform in a certain way, because their goal is to win, not to do the things that would make my team do well.
That's right.
Yeah, but I still will continue to do it. So.
Oh yeah, I do it every year, and I'm prepping for the 21st season of our fantasy baseball league. We've had the same group of guys, for a couple decades now playing. Yep. So we're prepping up for it. We got that draft to come in a couple weeks, and it's ridiculous because it has no sense in reality. But it's still
it feels so real.
Oh yeah. And there's nothing better when stuff goes your way. Nothing better. But when it doesn't, it's miserable. So you got turned on to acting in the 8th grade. Where did it go from there? Did you do theater in high school? Anything like that?
I did theater in high school. Shout out to Green Hill School. I went there from kindergarten to my senior year. I started acting in plays right away. My first play I was in as a freshman was The Good Doctor. They actually they thought I was so good that they wrote in a line for me. This is the first line I ever had in my theater career in high school. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. Shh.
That boy's a star.
That boy's a star. So that's where it all started. Just a simple shh.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Well, that's all it takes.
Yeah. So did you do band or were you in
I wish. I have so much respect and admiration for people that can play instruments. That's
me
something
too.
that I wish I could do. I could do it. I just haven't. Hopefully I could.
Yeah. Well, see, now that's better than what I've got, because I know for a fact that I cannot.
Yeah. So. I'm a dreamer, though, Michael.
Well, you're still young. There's still hope. Give it a couple decades, and if you haven't figured it out by then you can.
I played the recorder in middle school. Does that count?
Oh man, me too.
Okay.
Me too. I'll tell you what ended my recorder career. Because I was in elementary school, and I was good enough to be in the all-county, chorus, for a recorder player. But it fell on the same day as one of my baseball games, and I chose baseball. And I remember the music teacher not being particularly happy with that. That was the end of it.
Yeah.
I never played the recorder again. Sad story.
R.I.P.
So when you left high school, where did you go from there? Did you go into to an acting school?
Yeah, so I studied theater at USC.
Yes.
Incredible time, and that's where I really, really got the next level of my education.
Yeah, and that's where you joined the comedy troupe.
Exactly.
Yeah. So are you currently a member of the Groundlings?
I'm currently in classes at the Groundlings.
Okay, currently in classes. Yeah, but you're like you're pretty advanced right now, right?
I'm in the final level of classes, and it's really, really incredible. It's super fun, super challenging, super great to connect with my inner child, and I met incredible people along the way. So many talented people that have come from the Groundlings, that are in the Groundlings, that have interest in being at the Groundlings. So unfortunately, because of the pandemic, they had to pause in-person classes. So I'm looking forward to continuing those once those.
Well, what's that? So explain a little bit about what that's like, because I know there's different levels for the groundlings. So when you get to those kind of advanced stages,
Mm-hmm.
do you get ex groundling people coming in to speak to you in class, or how does that go?
So the really cool thing about the way the school works is that all the teachers are current people that either perform at the Groundlings or have performed at the Groundlings. So it's people that
Nice.
are in the thick of it. So it's you get it from the source.
I would think like if you were in class there, I mean, are you just laughing all the time because you're just surrounded by?
So much
Yeah.
laughter. Yeah.
Yeah, what a
Yes.
great way to what a great way to go to school. That's terrific. That
Countless
has to be the
people
best.
handedly added, provided that the saying is true that laughter adds years to your life. The Groundlings have single-handedly added at least 10 years to mine.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm very jealous of that. So, what's the when you finish with the Groundlings or you graduate the Groundlings? What's next from there? Where does that lead to?
So once you get finished with advanced, I believe there's a next level of classes that you get into, and then there's a workshop, a screenwriting, some type of that, and it's a long process to get into the main troupe. But I think they do that on purpose because it is such a storied
Right.
school. So it's it's all about the reps, truly. It's a
Yeah.
must. Improv is a muscle like any others, and improving with the style that they do is a muscle like any other. So I think they do a really good job of taking care of the students that come through and making sure that you feel ready and you are ready for when or if that day comes.
Yeah. So, did you join because you already were fairly good at improv, which isn't easy?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I can't argue with you at your show, so I'm gonna. It's fact. I am good at improv. I will
Yeah.
take it. I would say that I got a lot of taste of it when I was younger, and then also when I got to USC, and I'd also taken some classes at UCB, and I would say that you always have room to grow, and there's always more to do. So I don't ever believe that I'll ever stop learning and I'll ever feel as if there isn't more for me to learn, both as a performer and
Right.
also as a person. I'm big on the growth mindset. That's all I'm about.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so impressed with people that can do improv because and it's interesting too because I've talked with a lot of actors. Some of them are terrible at improv, but they're an excellent actor. They can memorize their lines and they're excellent. And some it's the reverse. They struggle with the kind of memorizing lines, but if you just turn them loose, they're amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool.
it's really interesting with that. So you've got a guest starring role on Bunk'd, which is a Disney show. So how did that come about? Because that's big. That's big. Once you get into it with Disney, you're in.
That's what I hear. That's what I hear. I was lucky enough to get a call from my reps. I have incredible reps. Shout out
Yeah.
Kim, Charlie, and Chris. And they got me an opportunity to audition for the show. And, through a couple rounds of auditions, I ended up getting the role. Unfortunately, I cannot say anything about the specifics of the role. But what I can tell you is that the experience working on Bunk'd, the entire team, the entire cast, the entire crew, the entire casting department could not have been kinder, more welcoming to me. And I had
Yeah.
such an incredible experience. And I'm so excited for everyone to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Everybody dreams about being a Disney kid. If that were me, I would totally be wearing shirts and stuff say Disney kid something. You
Hey,
got to
listen,
promote that.
you send me one, I'll wear it. We can wear it together. Take pictures, we'll put it on a mug. My grandma will put it on her refrigerator.
That's
We'll be
right.
set.
My grandson is a Disney kid. So describe the show a little bit. What is Bunk'd about?
So it's a spinoff of a super popular show that ran on Disney for a while called Jessie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's centered around a summer camp, and it's just a lot of fun. The actors on the show are so talented, and if
Yeah.
I get to work with performers that talented for the rest of my career, I'll be very, very lucky.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Are you the villain?
I can neither confirm nor deny anything you ask me.
Almost got him. It was a test.
Yeah. You got me thinking, like, what villain? What is that? What is a villain?
Yeah, I don't even know if they in a comedy show there's probably, I don't know. You kind of have some mild villains.
Yeah, and I may or may not be one of those.
That's right. We'll have to wait to see. So, do you know when that will air?
They haven't released it yet, but hopefully soon.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
The second I know when it is going to be aired and I'm allowed to speak on it, any person that has ever breathed in my vicinity or thought about breathing in my vicinity will know.
Yeah, that's terrific. So what season is Bunk'd on?
They're on its 5th season, and hopefully they'll be getting renewed for a 6th season.
Yeah, you never know. We might be seeing a spinoff in the future with this unnamed Bunk'd character that you're playing.
Never know. Hey,
you never know. I've got your next big gig.
I'm here.
So it's a struggling improv player that solves crime, but accidentally
solves crime.
That's right. He just kind of falls into it.
I'm here for it.
I think that's the perfect show.
Solved all these murders.
And
we didn't know we wanted, but the hero we got. The hero we
stumbled upon. It can co-star Shaq.
That's true. Michael, I think you're onto something.
I think I'm onto something too, but Shaq's going to be a middle school music teacher that specializes in the recorder.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
I think it writes itself. It's the joke will be everybody constantly asks him if he has ever played basketball, and he's terrible at it.
I would clear your schedule for the next few months because I think all the studios are going to be calling us, and we're going to be having some meetings.
Once this interview gets out there, look out.
Man.
Yeah. I can't write it. I'm just the idea guy. So I just, I just want that special thanks.
It takes a village.
That's right. Just at the end of the credits, special thanks, Michael. Okay. That's all I need. Just a little.
Very low bargain.
I know. Just a little mention.
Wow.
That's all I want. Maybe you and I could a little 2-on-1 basketball game with Shaq. Maybe we could work that in there.
Yeah, we might need a few more than just 2 to beat him, but
Yeah.
But at least when the game starts, it will be even.
Well, we'll put him in a chair, and he can't leave the chair.
Yeah, that seems fair.
That seems like we would have a shot.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can agree to these terms.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Mm-hmm. So you had another short that was like an iPhone commercial, and I hadn't seen this one, but I watched it the other day. That one was really hilarious too. So tell me a little bit about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I am like a lot of other people. I am at the whim of Apple, and every Apple product I feel my worth is determined to whether or not I have that product. So this was another sketch that I wrote while I was in the suspenders and performed it live. And I just always thought about the idea that there are always so many iPhones coming out, like every second, and They all have these features and all these features. Sometimes the features are so advanced that they're not even helpful, but they're cool, but they all end up causing more work. So I really thought the idea of, in that world, what if they developed a new version of Siri that was so realistic that it was unhelpful, so realistic that it would say no to your requests. And that was I kind of springboarded from there, and that's what gave birth to that short.
Yeah, and it's so funny. It's so good. So is your preference to write or to act?
My preference, I would say, if I had to, choose between the two, I would say my first love is and probably will always be performing. I think that the great thing that developing the muscle of writing, and I have so much respect for writers. Oh my God. So hard, would be that whenever I am in a position where I'm writing or producing my own products, it puts me as the actor in a little bit more of the driver's seat, in the sense that there are so many writers, producers, cast directors, production designers, etc., that I've had the fortune of working with. And so often, the actor is at the whim of the other people creating opportunities. So it's always nice to be able to switch the paradigm on its head and be able to reach out to my directing friends, my, production design friends, my sound friends, and be able to say, like, here's something, and I really want to work with you, and here's an
Right.
opportunity where we can work on something together.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So once you get done filming, are you working on the editing side as well? Or are you are you doing the production of it?
I have always believed that the sign of a self-aware person is knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at. So something that I'm not good at, I'm not hesitant at all to find someone that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people get kind of that's where they get tripped up. They reach too far.
Yeah.
You got to ask for help sometimes. Yeah, that's pretty great. Did you take any film classes, short film classes in college?
So I was a screenwriting minor, so I took a couple of screenwriting classes, and I also was
Yeah.
in a video production program at the school that I went to. Shout out Mr. Doyle, and that really was where I got the inception and the idea. That's where the idea was really birthed, of being able to, you know, while I'm being put out there for auditioning for all these other opportunities, I also can be brainstorming and thinking about what types of roles and what types of
Yeah.
stories do I want to tell. So then at the end of the day, we all have a voice, and we all want that voice to be heard.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. So when you're filming these, what have you learned? Have you learned anything to avoid, or what kind of lessons have you learned from filming these shorts?
I think every experience is new. I think always approaching every project with the beginner's mindset
Yeah.
of, this is all very exciting, and trying to approach everything with patience and grace, and just surrounding yourself with people that you want to work with so that it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. So my son's in film school here local,
Very
and
cool.
and he's done a few shorts, that I think are hilarious. He's very critical of them. I think they're hilarious, but he has trouble. So what has happened to him is that now when he watches movies or TV shows, he picks up on anything that he thinks should have been done differently. So it kind of messes up his viewing, because now he's looking at it with a critical eye instead of just a fan.
Mhm.
Has that ever happened to you?
I believe that happens with everyone in every industry that they're in. Like, I'm sure you
Yeah,
listen to podcasts very differently than I would because of
that's true.
your experience hosting one.
Yeah.
So I think that is.
Wait, there's other podcasts? Huh?
I didn't want to be the one to break it to you. I'm
Oh
so
man.
sorry.
But no, that's a really good point, and it's very true. I tend to listen to our podcast, and I'm very critical of it, and I don't listen to a ton, but I do listen to other podcasts, and it's not so much that I'm looking for things not to do. It's really I'm trying to steal things that I think are done well,
Sure,
picking it out. But it does distract you from just listening to the material.
definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So what other shorts or things have you worked on? That I know there was a few more that we haven't talked about. What else
Yeah,
can we look for?
a short film, a horror short film called Uninvited, that premiered at the Berlin
Yeah,
National Film Festival. That was a lot of fun. That one was about a couple having dinner, having a romantic weekend getaway, and an uninvited guest arrives. I would
yeah.
say that's the very basic way to to describe it without giving anything away. But it was a lot of fun, and was I really had
Werewolf.
the opportunity to work with a lot of really fun people and have some fun prosthetics and all that stuff.
Did I get it? Was it a werewolf?
Michael, I hate, ever since I broke the news about that there are other podcasts, I hate letting you down again. But I'm gonna neither confirm nor deny that. I'm gonna leave you
All
some
right.
hope.
All right. All right. So that one though, that one you've taken to some of the film festivals.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really great. Although this last year hasn't been typical, because everything's virtual.
Exactly, very atypical. So I'm excited for when the festival circuit resumes in person, because I believe that's one of the most inspiring places any storyteller can be, is a film
Yeah.
festival.
Have you been to any of the big ones?
I've been to a couple. I've been lucky, especially being a Texas native. I've been able to go to South by a couple times. I've been to
Oh,
Sundance
nice.
once, and yeah, I hope to go to many, many more throughout my career if I'm should be so lucky.
Yeah, yeah. We got to go to. We were shopping a couple of things around Sundance last year. So I mean, we just barely got under the wire before all this nonsense hit,
Yeah.
and it was a little overwhelming and exhausting, but just the best. I mean, just the best experience. There's just so much going on, and I found it really funny because everybody's bundled up. It's in Utah, so everybody's bundled up. You can't tell who anybody is.
Nope.
And then we would see pictures of celebrities and stuff that were there, and we're like, we were right next to them because you recognize what they're wearing, but you couldn't tell, at the time. So I just we had the best time there. But you got a chance to go to Sundance?
So much fun, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's the first time's a little intimidating because there's just so much. It's almost like you have to go once just to learn what to do for the
100%.
next time.
Yeah, because there's also so much you want to see and so much you want to do, and you just have to make choices. You got at a certain point, you got to flip a coin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you can't go wrong. Just about anything you get into is pretty good, pretty educational. You meet some good contacts. It's fun. It's fun. Now this year they did theirs all virtual this year.
Yeah.
So that was a little different experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not as much fun when you're not face to face. It's just not as much fun.
Yeah, there's only so many things you can replicate, but
yeah. So you're playing some recreational basketball. Are you in a league?
I was before
COVID. This.
So yeah. So I'm hoping I need to get back in the gym. And
what's your position on the ball court?
I'm sure this won't be that surprising, but I am a guard. I'm more of a shooting guard. I never built up the full repertoire of ball handling. I was more of a shooter. That was my thing. Like a poor man's Kyle Korver.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, very poor. The poorest good version of Kyle Korver.
Hey, as long as that version is good enough for the league you're in.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all about how you stack up against the competition.
It really is.
Yeah. So what's next, Kyle? What are you've got this big guest starring role. What other genres or what direction are you wanting to take your career next?
Yeah, I have another feature film that I filmed that is in the process of post-production that I also unfortunately cannot talk about.
Wait, can you give us a name?
I cannot, unfortunately, but the second I can, you know I'm going to come back and tell you. So
well, now you have to come back. You're just setting up your return.
Listen, I had to plant the seed. But that was a lot of fun and another opportunity where I got to work with a lot of really, really talented people.
Yeah.
People that I really truly believe in 10 years, I'm gonna look back at that project and be like, wow, like that was cool that I got to work with those people, because they're all, both the people in front of the camera and behind are gonna go some very exciting places. So I was grateful to be in that company.
Yeah, that's pretty great. So are you like me? Are you a big fan? Like if I was in a role, which wouldn't happen, but if I was, I'd probably be a little starstruck. Or do you just get on there and you're just like, these are my people?
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's always an element of that that's there because we're human, but I
Right.
really try so that I can focus on the work.
Yeah.
I really try to reframe any person that I meet, and for some people it's easier than others,
Sure.
as my contemporaries. I really try to do that so that, because if you meet someone and you're oohing and awing over them, it also affects their ability to be comfortable in their own space.
Well,
So
that's right. That
the
sure
goal
is.
is to create a safe space where art can be made. I think that every person has a role in terms of making sure that that sacred space is protected.
Yeah. So you're professional. Do you go home and then kind of freak out?
Of course, I'm just human, Michael. I drink water just like everyone else.
I know. I'd be the worst actor. I would drive people crazy. Oh, that's terrific though. So what genre haven't you done that you would like to try?
I'm fortunate enough that I've gotten to dabble in most genres. I wouldn't mind dabbling into some romantic comedy.
Yeah.
I'm a hopeless romantic, but honestly, like I just love being on set, and I love all of the genres. I think they all have something great to offer. So
Yeah.
those any opportunity I have to work on something, I'm very, very, very grateful.
Any plans for theater, stand up, anything like that?
Definitely all possibilities.
Yeah.
Not ruling anything out, of course.
Well,
So
why would you?
why would I?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty great. We haven't talked. I mean, you're a Disney guy now, so I mean, should we expect you in a Marvel movie at some
I mean,
point?
they have been in talks with me about a roller coaster they're going to be making after me, yeah, and I
Oh,
think they're going to make up a whole new extra
the
part.
cow.
Yeah, the Kyle
Yeah.
Matthew experience. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to call it. They're workshopping the name, so
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. That's right. And you never give the real name until it comes out.
of course not. Yeah.
I'll give you another role that they haven't cast in the Marvel universe yet that you could play.
All right.
Because I'm a comic book guy.
Right.
So the Hulk's best friend in the comics, Rick Jones.
I'm in.
You could play him, and then at one time, he even becomes another version of the Hulk,
Wow.
and he also partners up for a little while with Captain America. I mean, you could. There you
Right.
go.
It's
You're
so
you're
it's so symbolic because the way your backdrop is set up, it looks as if the Hulk is talking into your ear and giving you this idea. So I'm not really
that's
sure
that's what's
if
happening.
if this is your idea or Bruce's, but either way,
It's
it's
not mine.
yeah.
But you can use that if if you want to go talk to your Disney buddies and say, "Hey, Rick Jones." What you do, I'll tell you how to do it. Just have a normal conversation, but then under your breath, just be kind of saying Rick Jones,
Right.
and
It
then
just kind of
subliminally they.
subliminal messages, and
That's
I'll
right.
start writing, I'll start writing notes that say Rick Jones and just sliding them to people like I'm in middle school again, and you know,
That's
people
it.
won't know.
You think I'm kidding, but here in a couple years, I'm going to be watching whatever the next Marvel movie is, and there you'll be. I'll be like Rick Jones.
Rick Jones.
Well, Kyle, this
Rolls
has
off the
been
tongue.
a blast. I knew it would be. I knew it was going to be a lot of fun talking with you. I can't wait till you come back and can fill me in on all the details on this
I
stuff.
can't wait as well. Truly.
Yeah.
Truly
So
been a
before
joy.
we wrap up, though, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you've got upcoming? Anything we can keep an eye out for?
Michael, I'm a big fan of manifesting. So I believe that, there are some exciting things that I have been able to talk about, though the specifics have been limited. But I
Yeah.
also believe that there are definitely a lot of exciting things on the horizon that I'm
Yeah.
either not allowed to talk about and or I don't know about yet. So the answer is yes, definitely, and I can't wait for everyone to see what's next.
Oh, that's a really great answer. See, my acting career would last up until the point that somebody asked me what I was doing, and I would spill the beans, and that would be it. Nobody'd work with me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be over. So you're doing a good job. They're going to be,
Cool.
Disney's going to be very happy.
Good. For all I know, you might be a spy. So I got.
You never know. You never know.
I mean, is Michael even a real name? I haven't even met anyone with a name
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
right. That's right.
I
may not even be here.
I wouldn't even know how to spell a name like that.
Oh, shoot. So, Kyle, but last thing, where can we find all this great stuff you're working on? Where are you on social media?
So I'd say the social media where I'm most active would be my Instagram, which is at the Kyle Matthew, just the and then Kyle Matthew.
Yeah.
And you can find me there talking about all the things that are going on that I'm allowed to talk about. You might even find an occasional, cute dog picture. Both of my siblings have incredibly cute dogs, so you might get to see pictures of Sully or Bruno every now and again. And
nice.
Yeah, it's all very, very exciting stuff.
What kind of dogs are they?
One is a King Charles Cavalier, and the other is an Australian Labradoodle.
Oh, you didn't just go for the run-of-the-mill dogs. You got
listen,
that's some high-end dogs.
It's being an uncle is very rewarding.
Yes, that is very true. Well, Kyle, this really has been just a blast, and I appreciate so much that you came on the show. You have to come back.
Hey, I'm in.
Yeah, I can't wait to check you out on Disney. I've got a few grandchildren they're just getting into the Disney stuff, so I'm sure they'll be watching. So which means I'll be watching. So.
I just want to be cool to someone. I mean, please.
You will be.
Hey, cool.
You know, everybody that's on Disney is cool. That's just the way it works.
Sure.
It's the way it works. So I hear. I keep calling them. They have not returned my call.
Yeah, it's all good. They have good waiting room music though.
They really do. They really do. I'm waiting. It's one of these days.
We'll get through. Just stay on.
You know, when they're like, "Hey, we need a mediocre podcaster from West Virginia," I'm their guy.
Your time's coming, Michael. I believe
it's coming. I can feel it. All right, Kyle, hold on 1 second. I'm going to hit pause. All right, so that was the hilarious Kyle Matthew. What a talented guy. I'm so looking forward to watching his career because I know he's just starting out, but we joked around about it, but that is it's a really big deal when you get a spot on Disney. He's doing terrific things with the Groundlings. His shorts are just hilarious. So make sure you check those out. I'm excited to see the horror one. That's a little different from what he's done before. So that'll be a lot of fun to check out. So hope you guys enjoyed that because he was just a really great, fun guy. So I had a blast. Thank you everyone for tuning in this week. Appreciate that. Do not take you for granted ever. There's so much out there you could be doing. You keep coming back. I really appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, please find us on YouTube under MeisterCon Pod and subscribe. We'd appreciate the support. You can find us on Facebook under MeisterCon. You can check out our website, meistercon.com. There is a fabulous blog from Brett that's on the website that if you're geeky, it can't miss. I mean, he is just he's an outstanding writer. It's so much fun. Plus, you can have over 200 episodes of Too Opinionated, both audio and video, that you can choose from as well. And we've had 140 or so guests like Kyle, and it's just been a blast. There's something for everybody on there, so please check that out. Okay, everybody. Until next time, bye.